Hello everyone and welcome back for another edition of 8 Minutes with Aaron. I am of course your host Aaron, and today we are talking about Monday Night Raw that took place on November 24th at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So let's get rolling with a fresh edition of this guy right here, Aaron. Monday Night Raw started off with Roman Reigns making his way to the ring and telling everybody to acknowledge him. And as he ran down the group of people that he will be teaming with at Wargames, Cody Rhodes came out and said, "Listen, Roman, you are on my team. We're going to work together. I know we don't have the best relationship, but we have to beat the Vision." Roman Reigns said, "That's the only reason why I'm joining you on this team, because I have to protect my family." Out came CM Punk, and CM Punk said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Cody, this is my team, and this is also Monday Night Raw where I am the champion. Acknowledge me." CM Punk chuckled and said, "Haha, Roman, I had to do that." Roman Reigns was like, "Oh, CM Punk, blah, 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 blah." And he's like, listen, Roman, we're friends. We teamed up in War Games last year, right? So we're cool. Then, Cody and CM Punk had a little back and forth, and then Roman Reigns made a penis joke, and then he said, "That title will look a lot better around me." And Roman rolled out of the ring. CM Punk said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, you talking to me? You talking to Cody?" And Roman Reigns said, "Figure it out on your own." There was also a little segment in the back where the Usos confronted all three of them and said, "Yeah, we're going to tag team tonight. Yeah, Us." Because they are going to face the team of Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul, who also had a little segment in the back, and everybody is scared shitless of Brock Lesnar. And then we go into our first match, which were the John Cena last tournament champion, whatever the shit it was, Gunther versus Carmelo Hayes. This was a fantastic match. Carmelo Hayes, at first I thought he was garbage, but you know what? He's a freaking awesome wrestler. He had a lot of opportunities where he was so close at beating Gunther, but of course he wasn't going to, because we've known for, months that Gunther is going to face John Cena in the finals. He almost got like a close count out, and Gunther almost lost, but Gunther got him in the sleeper hole, hit a couple power bombs. 1, 2, 3. Gunther is continuing in the tournament. Down. But the match is getting an up. All right, then we got to talk about the other match, which is a short-lived match because, hey, Penta got injured when he went over the top rope. It was Penta versus Solo Sikoa, and there was no way even a Samoan spike in this whole fucking match. And like I said, Penta got injured. They had to cut the match, and I have to give this one a down because there was absolutely nothing to really discuss. All right, we had Dominic Mysterio, who came out to talk to the crowd and said, "I am going to take back my Intercontinental Championship title at War Games when I beat John Cena in my hometown of San Diego, California." And then you know what happened? We heard John Cena's music. That lying sack of shit. He said he's never going to be on the Raw, and out came wee John Cena. Dominic, of course, beat the shit out of wee John Cena, and this led into the match, Rey Mysterio versus JD McDonough. Now, JD McDonough is fucking just an amazing wrestler. I always say he's so great. He's going to be a banging-ass champion one day. Of course, JD did not beat Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio beat him with a 619, a little splash. Finn Balor tried to do a little assist, but that didn't work out. So, yeah, overall, that match is getting it up. And then we need to talk about another backstage segment with Maxine Dupree, who needs to find a tag team partner to face Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. She said, "I gotta call my girl, Natalya." And we know that when Natalya comes and helps her out, she is gonna turn on Maxine Dupree. And guess who else we saw? I can't remember her name. I really can't. It begins with an N. Ivy Niles. Fuck yeah, I remembered. Ivy Niles said to Maxine Dupree, "I'm coming after that title too, bitch." All right, and that's the end of Maxine Dupree. And then Adam Pearce also had a little segment with the New Day, who is going to have a title match given to them. Just given to them. Yeah, that's right. Just given to them against AJ Styles and Red Dragon. I'm wrong. Dragon Lee. Son of a bitch. Too many Rays in my head. Next week on SmackDown, and Grayson Waller brought in a wig, put on Adam Pearce, and that was really it. All right, so I named 3 matches so far. I have to try to remember them all, right? All right, we had the women's war game crap going on. We had Becky Lynch coming out, and she was running down Maxine Dupree, talking about how the ref screwed her, how everyone's screwing her over. Out came the Kabuki Warriors, going a little too fast here, doing a little ass shaking. Out came Nia Jax, who was doing like Ozempic or something. And then you had Lash Legend. And then Becky Lynch ran down her team saying how amazing Becky was compared to these little shits that are in the ring. You know, like a compliment sandwich, like good, shitty, good. But it was like good for her, you're shitty, I'm good again. And then, of course, the good heels, or well, not the heels, but the good guys came down. You got Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and AJ Lee, who came in the ring. Were like, yo, you guys are chomps. There's a brawl, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not excited for this War Games match at all. Then finally, we get to our main event, which was Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul taking on the Usos. Now, what can I say about this match? I don't want to say anything about this match because it was just, it wasn't anything special. You had the Usos doing their tag team moves, oosing it up, Uso! And, yeah, they just did some ooses, some spears. You got Jimmy who's now doing spears and top rope splashes. We had a ton of super kicks because you know it's an Uso match. Drew McIntyre did not even get a Claymore kick. You know what? I didn't even see a fucking tsunami in this whole fucking Monday Night Raw. Garbage! Even though, you know, Big Bronson Reed wasn't in the match, I always want to see a nice tsunami. You gotta just have one tsunami in a Raw and a SmackDown. Give me just tsunamis on every show. Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso were out of the match for a really long time. I could have sworn it was like 5-10 minutes. And Jimmy and Logan Paul were just going at it in the ring. Jimmy had a lot of close calls. After the spear, he did the splash. He got a 2 count. Drew McIntyre broke it up, which brought Jey back in. Jey got a kick, but Drew McIntyre blocked it and threw him out of the ring. And as he threw him out of the ring, Logan Paul went to the outside. And who was out there? Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And then we had Cody Rhodes and my boy CM Punk come out, and they were brawling on the outside. And then Drew McIntyre ran into Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes hit him. Hit that motherfucker. Should have been a DQ. No DQ was called. I call bullshit. And yeah, Logan Paul got a surprise small package on Jimmy. 1, a 2, and a 3. And guess what? That was it, folks. I gotta tell you, guess who won? I'll tell you who won. That son of a bitch, Logan Paul. This match is going to get an out because I like Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre is cool. Hopefully he does some crazy shit. Maybe, like, I don't know, Claymore kicks Brock Lesnar or War Games. That would be cool, even though I do see a Jey heel turn coming. And as there was a big brawl because we got the 4, the 5, whatever the hell were in the ring, and we didn't have one little guy in there, one big guy, I should say. And as the heels were running up the ramp, running from the, the faces in the ring, you hear bum, 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 bum. Brock Lesnar made his way out, and as the pyro went off, for some reason, when he jumped in the air, he fell and tumbled. Now, I'm not sure if he meant to do that purposely, because he got up, he's like, ah, and put his hat on Braun Breaker, too many bronze. And they all made their way to the ring. They all stood on the apron, and they went in, had a big-ass brawl. Of course, no security. Of course, no police officers this time. And they cut and ended Monday Night Raw. Now, overall, I'm going to give that an out. And Monday Night Raw is getting it down because I could have sworn that there was at least an hour of commercials and not a lot of entertainment. My name is Aaron. Thank you for joining me, Team Mr. Aaron. I will see you next time with more stuff, more things, and, of course, more of me. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.